Okay, councillors and staff. It's 5 o'clock. We'll open the meeting. In accordance with the Local Government Procedures Regulations 2015, the public is advised that the proceedings of the meeting of council will be recorded on digital media to assist in the preparation of the minutes and to ensure that a true and accurate account of debate and discussions of the meeting is available. Also, welcome the General Manager's zooming in tonight. He's down at Hobart with a meeting with NRE regarding Majoon Skate. So thanks, David. Acknowledgement of country. The West Coast Council acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land in which we gather today and pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. Item 203 on the agenda is leave of absence. There's no approved leave of absence. Councillor Graham might have had a leave of absence at the last meeting. Yes, he did. Thanks, Sam, for that. Item 204, financial interest declaration. So this time of the meeting, any councillor that may have a financial interest in any items on the agenda may announce them now or just before the item is discussed during the meeting. I'll have one during the meeting which I'll hand over to the Deputy Mayor at the time before the discussion's undertaken during that part of the meeting. Item 205 is confirmation of the minutes. The recommendation is that the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the West Coast Council held at the West Coast Council Chambers, 11 Stitch Street, Queenstown, Tuesday the 27th of June 2023, a copy which had been previously circulated to councillors prior to the meeting, be confirmed as true and accurate record. Someone like to move that way? Move Councillor Hamer, seconded Councillor Butterfield. Put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay. Item 206 is public participation question time. We've got no one in the gallery, but we have got a late item, which item 206A is acceptance of the late agenda item. The recommendation is that council resolve by absolute majority to consider the following matters for discussion. Late item to the meeting agenda, and that is a question on notice from Mr. Lee Stiles. Someone like to move that way, please. Move Councillor Stringer, second Councillor Ivanicki. Put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, item 206B. This is the late item, question on notice. Dear Sam and councillors, I request that the following questions be added to the agenda for public question time. My questions are: what specific strategies and policy has council implemented to address the violation of gym membership terms, specifically minors accessing facilities unsupervised and members sharing access cards? 2, how successful have the strategies been in resolving these membership violations? What metrics are being used to track and measure these effectiveness? And he's also got a point that he noticed the new signage in the gym advising members to contact police and council about concerning or threatening behaviour. This is a great step, however. 3, what additional proactive measures is council taking to monitor and enforce membership terms and conditions on a day-to-day basis? And 4, how effective have these proactive enforcement measures been so far? What feedback have you received? General Manager, are you able to address that?
So in terms of specific strategies, we do have signage, but really we are not proactive in enforcement in that we rely on people making complaints and then we take action following complaints. Generally, we'll provide a warning depending on the behaviour, and then if the behaviour continues, we'll cancel a membership. In terms of being successful with the metrics that we're using to track it are largely the number of complaints about underage people accessing the gym or poor behaviour. We receive relatively few complaints in that regard, less than 10 over the year. I can confirm, I might just ask Elle to confirm how many people. Well, I believe we've cancelled 2 gym memberships this year. I might be able to confirm that, or we've cancelled one and in the process of cancelling another.
Yep. 2 have been cancelled. Thanks, El.
Yeah. So we do take action, but it would be difficult for us to take further proactive steps in unmanned gyms. So we do really rely on people making complaints, and then we follow up on those complaints. And we would expect there is some deterrent effect from people having their gym memberships cancelled for various things.
Thank you, General Manager. Any other discussion on that point, councillors? Well, there was a question on notice, so without notice. So. All good. Thank you, General Manager. Item 207 is petition and presentations. Recommendation is that Council note the below petition presented to the General Manager within 42 days of tabling of the petition, and at the August 2023 meeting, the council will be provided with a report to determine any action to be taken in respect to the petition. Someone like to move that way, please? Move Councillor Jordan, seconded Councillor Hamer. Okay, so are we happy with that recommendation, councillors? Yes. Put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay. Item 208 is council raised issues and informations. There's no questions on notice. Questions without notice, councillors. Councillor Mackay.
Could I request an update for the progress on the slipway toilets of Straw?
Yep, through you, Mayor. It's been a drawn-out process, this one. Lessons learned, but there are some concerns at the minute with delay of some furniture doors, prefab doors, especially built for the job. We've ended up cutting short, so there's going to be a small delay with the return of that. And some minor plumbing also to be done, as well as some work within the shower department. So we're hoping, we waited, I think, 5 weeks last time for the doors. They've been reordered a couple of weeks ago, so I hope it's not as long this time, but yeah, that's basically all I can give you as an update at the present.
Can we aim for a September open to coincide with
I
spring?
would certainly hope so. Yeah, we will push what we can to make sure it's open by September.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Any other questions without notice, councillors?
Yeah. I just had a question. Can you give an update on the Zillion pool and its if it's likely to be operational for the upcoming season?
Yeah, through you, Mayor. So as previous conversations with the company that's designing the pool repairs as it stands, we're still waiting on the design options to come back to present to council. We're hoping to have them in the very near future, possibly within 2 weeks. Then a report will be done up with the options given to the General Manager for the repair status and costings. And then, of course, we need to try and marry that into the upgrades of the change rooms and that to see if it is possible to have it open during this summer. Until we get the design for repairs back, we're sort of our hands are tied with the consultant until we know what we're up against, basically.
Thanks, Scott. I guess just one thing on it. Are we able to put some media out there around where we are at with the pool, just so to keep people aware of, we are still working on it, and that, because I guess people will be looking at wondering whether the pool is going to be opened again, which we don't understand it is. So.
We're desperately relying on getting the designs back,
Yep.
so we can liaise with, in particular, the education department.
Yep.
To let them know, because they'll start their proceedings now for the Learn to Swim program. But yeah, we're sort of tied until we get that.
I understand.
Back from the consultants.
Yep. Thanks, Scott. I've got one just on, could we please receive an update on the Tulla toilet power supply situation?
Yeah, through you, Mayor. Basically, it's with a prehistoric issue over Tulla from the hydro days with the whole amenities building being hooked to one power supply. So we have put all our applications into Tas Networks and Aurora, in that case, to hook the power back up. Applications have all been put in, but it's been identified by Tas Networks that council haven't been paying the power on their toilets for a very long time, forever. So now that issue has been raised, another application needs to go into to make sure that it's all going through its right process. And also taking that on with that as well, we've got the electric car charger power supply coming from that as well now. The car charger supply, so that would be, we're hoping that's not too far away, but we are, as of tomorrow, be opening the toilets during a few hours during the day for working hours, from 8 o'clock till 4 o'clock, just to try and ease that little bit of perception about the toilets. Obviously the power relies on locking the doors, the door system, so we'll be physically unlocking them and locking them back up again until the power supply's back on.
Thanks for that update. Okay. Any other questions without notice, councillor? No? Okay, we'll keep moving. Motions on notice. Councillor Springer.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. I'd like to put the motion that the West Coast Council leaves the city's power partnership. I did originally support the motion to join this organisation. However, at the time, I didn't look into it well enough. Pros and cons of being a part of this organisation. I went onto their website to see who was listed in Tassie on that site. We're not listed. There's other councils from the south, I think, which I found a bit odd. The fact that we run on renewable energy in this state, unlike many of our mainland counterparts, leaves limited scope for reducing our carbon footprint anyway. I mean, there's areas of potential in fleet management, like choosing vehicles with good fuel efficiency and low CO2 output, and potentially some areas of waste management, SIGO, for example. But I think in terms of if we want to reducing energy, we should be looking at just from the point of reducing CO2. We should be looking at if it makes sense financially, like it gives us a saving over time, fine, let's do it. But yeah, I just think that this program doesn't suit us.
Okay, councillors. So seconded councillor Newman. Open for discussion, councillors. Any discussions on the matter? Is there any financial implications, General Manager, for us pulling out?
No, I would say there's a little bit of staff time in that there's some admin impost in being a member of the Climate Cities Partnership. We have to fill out surveys and responses to maintain our accreditation. I don't think we'll have any other, they don't provide any money to us. I do think we pay a small fee each year as well to be part of to cover some of that admin cost. I don't think it would change anything that we were doing necessarily in that we haven't been particularly proactive in doing any new actions because of joining the Climate Cities Partnership. We, like Councillor Stringer has said, we focus on actions that also make sense for other reasons for the West Coast. So replacing lighting and buying fuel efficient vehicles. So if anything, there'll be a small saving in staff time.
Thank you, General Manager. No other discussions on the matter. Councillors, put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Item 209 is Mayor's and Councillor diaries and communication. It's for noting the Council resolved that the Mayor's and Councillors' diaries and communications as presented be noted. Any discussions on any of their matters, Councillors? No discussions? Okay, we'll keep moving then. Item 210 is council workshops. for noting that council resolved to note the following workshops were conducted by council since the last ordinary meeting. So we had a briefing from SES today with regard to emergency management, from Parks and Wildlife regarding the next iconic walk and an update with regard to that, and also we had the policy review on WCC.016 media and communications, which I'll feed back that information to Sam, David, with regard to what come out of that. Okay, that's for noting. Item 211, Council's decision and status report action item list. Council resolved that the status report action item of open council meeting decisions be received. So there's still a few there from me, a couple there from with regard to response to Ms. Gallagher. And
Through you, Mayor.
yes,
What's the hold up with that one?
me.
Okay.
I have had discussions with her, but I haven't formally replied
Outstanding
to
from
her.
October, Mr Mayor.
Yes. But it was a little bit before that. I was meeting her in December, sorry, and that never eventuated. So, but I have met her this year at another event. Okay, and we've also got the Think application still pending. Okay, item 212 is Committees of Council reports and recommendation. For noting, the council resolved that the council committee reports as presented be noted. So we've got one there from the Emergency Management Committee and also the Education and Training Committee. Any discussions on any of them, councillors? No. Item 213, General Manager's Report. The recommendation is that the General Manager's report as presented be noted. Someone like to move that way, please? Move Councillor Mackay, seconded Councillor Stringer. Open for discussion, councillors. Any discussions on any of the matters?
Could I ask a question of the GM through you, Mayor, please?
You can. Can you hear Annie, David?
Page 43, the income statement. It's reporting 68k reimbursements to workers' compensation. Point number 5. Is that generally how that is reported in the income statement?
Elle, do you want to answer that one?
Yes, through you now, that is correct. You had some long-term workers' compensation employment areas with monitoring, and that is correct. That's how it actually comes through.
As income?
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify.
Thanks, councillor. No other discussions on any of the matter? Put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, item 214 is outstanding advocacy correspondence. It's for noting the council resolved that outstanding advocacy correspondence as presented be noted. No, any discussions on any of them? No? Keep moving then. Item 215 is correspondence. Council resolves that correspondence both incoming and outgoing as presented be noted. So there's no actions required on any of that unless there's some from the floor. No, it's for
No
noting.
actions, but through you, Mayor, thank you for advocating for the West Coast. There's some really important issues in some of that correspondence. Visitor centre funding, retention of workers, concerns on the Mountain Heights School, hospital policies, NRMA spend. They're really important issues, and I thank you for advocating for the West Coast.
So, yeah, with regard to that, we haven't had any correspondence back from the Minister with regard to Mountain Heights School. We have had some reply from the Minister, which will be in the Premier, which will be in next month's agenda. It's only just come out with regard to workers' retention in the government. And we had some fairly good discussions with the Premier last Monday at our meeting in Launceston, which there is some things in the pipeline hopefully happening. So, yeah, so thanks, Councillor, for that. Okay. Okay, item 216 is event sponsorship. The recommendation is that council approve $2,000 cash event for the Neighbourhood House Tasmania Inc. For discussion, someone like to move that way, please. Move Councillor Mackay, second Councillor Ivanicki. Open for discussion, councillors, with regard to their conference coming up in this year.
Invaluable, the neighbourhood houses to the West Coast community, and if anything, it'd be wonderful to have more.
Yes. Any other discussions for or against the recommendation, councillors?
I'd just like to support Councillor Mackay. I think the Neighbourhood House on the West Coast, they will do a really good job and support our community, and I think that we should support this.
And I guess furthermore than that, it's good to see both the neighbourhood houses are getting together with regard to this, and it is a state conference, so we will see a lot of people from the rest of the state here, so it would be a good opportunity for our community to engage with others in the Tasmanian community. So I'll put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. So item 217 is event sponsorship. So I'll hand over to the Deputy Mayor to run that, please.
Okay, so the Queenstown Anglers Club, which run the annual Lake Burbury fishing competition, $650 sponsorship towards the competition, which is held later on this year. We have a mover for that.
I'll move that way.
And a second, so
Yeah.
moved. Lindsay, and second, Brian. Is there any communications or correspondence or anything else to add to that?
Again,
I've never caught a fish, and I'm really hoping I catch a fish this year.
you can't blame her.
Don't come in my boat.
Again, it's health and well-being. It just fits everything that our council's appetite.
So that's all those in favour?
Aye.
Stand up, Shane. You.
'Don't we? Dodgy.
Okay.
So that was approved, Shane, up to the 218.
Where are we at? The last one.
218.
218, event sponsorship again. So we've got recommendation is council approve the $2,000 cash event sponsorship for the Tulla Progress Association with regard to event sponsorship package leaflet. Is that with regard to the Charles Woodley Memorial Fishing Competition. Someone like to move that way for discussion? Move Councillor Jordan, second Councillor Ivanicki. Open for discussions, councillors. Any discussions on the matter?
Sorry, this is obviously a new event, isn't it? Or
No,
has it
it's
long
been
before?
ongoing for some years now.
Never heard of it before.
A couple of years, at least 2 years that I know of, and maybe longer.
I'd say 4.
Yep.
A good event, they used to tag it with the race as well.
It's good to see the use of the West Coast brand. I really like that. They've got that on their brochure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only thing that I'm probably a little bit partial to this, that we've just approved one, or I don't know whether you approved it or not, one competition for an amount, and then they're coming and asking for a huge amount. But that's up to councillors. I guess my view is $2,000 probably a fair amount for a fishing competition. With regard to what they're offering, I know from some of the mines have rejected the amount, but some have also agreed to the amount as well. So, but that's beside the point. That's not our decision.
It does also push through to the Tulla Progress Association, which then spreads the money wider as well.
Councillors, if we're happy, we'll put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? So I'm against. Okay. Report vacant commercial retail space. The recommendation is that council A, agree to commence community engagement on a rate increase and remission scheme for business district areas in West Coast towns, or B, refer to a council workshop. Someone like to move either A or B? Councillors.
I'll move B.
Councillor Jordan has moved B. Got a seconder for that, please? Councillor Newman?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, any discussions on the matter? Refer it to a council workshop. Councillors happy with that? Okay, we'll put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Next item on the agenda, 220, is the report. The recommendation is that council note this SEO report and the recommendations on the West Coast TAS website. So someone like to move that way, please? Move Councillor Stringer, second Councillor Butterfield. Open for discussions, Councillor. Any discussions on the matter?
Through you, ma'am, who will implement the recommendations?
General Manager,
Sorry, what was that?
who will implement the recommendations for the SEO report?
It's a mixture of council staff, so Sky Javen, visitor centre staff, Bron, and Christine as a contractor to the visitor centre, as well as West by Northwest supporting us in that.
Have you let Councillor?
We've got a,
Some will require partnership with other organisations like Tourism Tas.
we've got a firm plan in place.
They have, I haven't seen the plan, but I do know that they have been meeting regularly to discuss implementation. We do also have a regular plan of website updates. So each year, that team put together an annual plan of what to update on the website, and then they implement that through the year with reporting to me quarterly. So I haven't seen the plan for the upcoming financial year, but I am confident that these things will be in it, and they have demonstrated over, especially the last 12 months, the ability to fully implement that plan. So we've seen a number of updates on the website over the previous 12 months.
Thanks, General Manager. Okay, I'll put to a vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Item 221 is policy review, WCC.008, procurement and code of tenders contract. Recommendation is that council adopt the revised WCC.008 procurement and code of tenders contract. Someone like to move that way, please? Move Councillor Stringer, seconded Councillor Butterfield. Put it to a vote. Any discussions on the matter? Better do that first. Everyone's happy? We'll put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, item 222, nature strip draft policy. The recommendation is that council, yes, the council approve Appendix 1 for public consultation, and B, note the intention to significantly reduce nature strip maintenance. Someone like to move that?
Through you, ma'am.
Yep.
I could not find Appendix 1. Appendix 2 is in there, but I couldn't find Appendix 1.
Appendix 1 is the nature strip policy.
Policy.
It is the policy?
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Yep. Any discussions on the, could we open?
No, you haven't.
Someone like to move that way, please?
A or B?
Oh, and B, so it's both.
Yeah, Appendix 2.
Yeah, so it's approve the appendix for public consultation, so it goes out to the public, so it's not a final decision on this, it's only to go out to the public. And note the intention to significantly reduce nature strip maintenance, so that'll be also part of the motion. So someone like to move Councillor Jordan, seconded Councillor Newman. Any discussions on the matter, councillors? No discussion on the matter, I'll put to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay. Item 223 is matters for closed meeting. So the recommendation is that items 225.23 to 236.23 discussed by council in closed session. Someone like to move that, please? Move Councillor McKay, seconded Councillor Butterfield. Put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, item 224, the recommendation is council resolved by absolute majority to go into closed session to consider the following matters, the time being 5:32. Someone like to move that way, please? Move Councillor Newman, seconded Councillor Stringer. Put it to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, we'll have a slight break while we change around our teams.